Hello and welcome to another Razorwire Raw. Now, today, what we're going to be discussing, like everybody else, is how Anthropic launched some new capability called the Claude Code Security. It's an AI-driven tool that scans code bases, checking out the logic and data flows. It detects vulnerabilities, it checks for various other things as well. And it made the investors in cybersecurity platforms shit the bed. We saw a number of different cybersecurity stocks fall sharply. He says, looking over at his notes, we had CrowdStrike shares were down about between 8 and 10%. Zscaler, Datadog, Cloudflare, Okta, and others saw double-digit declines. JFrog dropped 25%. And there was a number of other cybersecurity companies that lost significant amounts of market share, and the losses were kind of like apparently tens of billions, basically within a few days. It was very panic driven, for basically a tool that only really kind of got launched in a very limited research kind of method, but it was enough to make everybody lose their minds. And now everybody's shouting and screaming over LinkedIn and blah, blah, blah. Look, guys, we've got to stop doing knee-jerk reactions to new technology coming out. AI is great. There's a lot of really good applications for it. But as I said in previous videos for Razorwire Raw, we're not quite there yet. Yes, it's a great technology. Yes, there's lots of awesome applications for it in the future. But we're seeing this kind of trend whereby whenever anybody releases new AI information about OpenClaw or Claude Code Security and so on and so forth, that we're seeing all these kinds of reactions that come with it. And we're seeing some more long-term reactions where there's obviously large tech companies who are laying off thousands of people and replacing them with kind of like AI agents, AI bots, that kind of stuff. Look, guys, AI is a really, really fantastic piece of technology with a lot of application, but it really isn't there yet. It's not good enough to replace all of the solutions and people that we have in the cybersecurity industry. It's not there yet, and it might not be there for quite a while. That's not to say that we can't utilize that technology to do certain aspects of what we do to make ourselves more efficient, but you can't just wholesale bloody replace all of your cybersecurity people with AI agents. And to be honest, if you're going to do that in the future, you're probably insane anyway. There's way too many problems with the technology. There's way too many vulnerabilities with the technology, like prompt injection and that kind of stuff, and making it go out of bounds. We've been seeing all kinds of claims that, OpenClaw agents have deleted entire rafts of emails from people's inboxes and, caused all kinds of problems. And there's been some fantastic videos from Marius, for instance, who's kind of gone over that. So I won't kind of go over that because he does a brilliant video on that one. But, we're starting to see kind of almost like the D&D satanic panic equivalent of AI and its meaning in this industry. Look, guys, just stop, okay? Is the technology in the future going to potentially replace some of the lower end jobs? Yes, I think it will at some point, but that point isn't here yet. And it is a wide concern about how AI is going to be applied within the business world. A lot of business leaders are seeing it as a way of reducing costs. They're seeing it as a way of kind of replacing rafts of staff and making things way more profitable for them to do business. And that might actually be a realistic thing that occurs. Let's be totally honest. It's going to have quite a dramatic effect on a number of areas of business. I mean, we're already starting to see it with apparently lawyers over in the States, where younger lawyers would be brought in to do a lot of the analysis work for cases and so on and so forth. And then they would kind of migrate over to higher roles. And eventually they would become the top dogs within the company. And apparently, there's a bit of a concern that a lot of those lower end jobs are being replaced by AIs doing the analysis. And so you're not getting new solicitors, in our case over in the UK, or new lawyers over in the States, kind of coming up through the ranks. So there's going to be a bit of a problem with skills and a skills shortage down the line. And that is a real issue and a real concern. And I think there's a lot of people in the development world who are concerned about it as well, because you won't need as many developers. Look, AI as a technology is going to be a lot like the Industrial Revolution, I think, in the midterm. The Industrial Revolution saw a lot of jobs being lost due to technology kind of taking over those roles. You didn't need people screwing on the caps of toothpaste because you could get a machine to do that. We saw some of that in the car industry, where some of the jobs that people would do was taken over by sort of robotic manufacturing. And we're starting to see a lot of kind of movements with things like Optimus and with Tesla and with SpaceX and so on and so forth, where we're seeing significant improvements in technological capability within the world in general. AI, there was actually one other before I go into the AI thing about virtualization and cloud technology. 1 minute everybody had databases and servers on-prem. All of a sudden it was all going to the cloud, and there was whole rafts of people that were being replaced with platforms as a service, software as a service. Companies were, letting people go, and it's changed that industry. And that's going to happen whatever we do. Our technological change is occurring whether you want it to or not, and AI is the most recent iteration of that. You either jump on board and you get involved with it, or you don't. And if you don't, let's be honest, at some point down the line, you're possibly going to come a cropper. Artificial intelligence can do all kinds of things, but it doesn't replace the creativity element, and it doesn't replace the kind of intellectual element and wisdom element of information security professionals, or any other professional for that matter. It's not enough just to have knowledge. You've got to be able to apply it. You've got to be able to know how it works. You've got to be able to think outside the box and adapt according to what the situation is. Now, AI can't do that. It can be a fantastic tool to give you some really good analysis really quickly on documentation, log files, whatever it may well be. And yes, there are going to be some elements of the cybersecurity industry that are going to change, especially in SOCs, in SIEMs, in areas of InfoSec where you need bands of analysts kind of going in and looking at what's going on and reporting back. It will have an effect in the midterm. Is it going to have an effect now? I don't know. There's going to be some early adopters who are going to try it, and there's probably going to be some serious problems that come out of it. But we really need to look at the security of our AI solutions that we're looking to build and to operate. It's not just enough to have AI security agents. You're going to have to secure those security AI agents, because with the wrong prompt or some prompt injection, you could find that your security AI is doing not security and compromising you, or aiding people in compromising you. We've seen all kinds of stuff that's been going on with the vibe coding. I did a video on that recently. But we're still in the early nappy stages, toddler stages of AI, and we're learning from various different mistakes. Investors in cybersecurity solutions products, yes, I think they do need to be concerned, because AI is going to develop to the point where it's going to start eating some of their lunches, but that's not going to be potentially any time particularly soon. But then I might be wrong. Things are moving very, very quickly. You look at deepfake videos. We're going to be doing a video on that over the course of this week. It'll be released down the line. The technology and the capabilities of deepfakes now is getting better and better and better, far faster than we thought it was going to be. And we need to react to that. And some of the reactions that we have will be utilizing things like AI technology. I've often said things like authentication are going to change as well. You're going to potentially have AI agents watching, the activity of individuals within the organization, looking for patterns that could possibly be considered to be malicious, or being able to detect people utilizing other people's credentials because the way that they operate and what they're doing is going out of bounds of what they normally do. There's all kinds of applications for this kind of technology. But Cloud Code Security is not going to destroy the entire market and murder everybody's jobs. It just isn't. It's not built for that. Even Anthropic themselves have said it doesn't do real-time detection of live threats. It doesn't do endpoint protection. It's not going to facilitate SOC operations, and identity and access management are also not going to be affected by them releasing this technology. It's there to look for code-based security vulnerabilities. It's not going to do everything that InfoSec people do and take over the entire universe. It's just not going to happen at the moment. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to be interested to see what happens. But I have to have a warning to anyone who thinks that they can remove InfoSec people from their business and replace them with security AI. If you do that, you are just going to end up having a really serious breach. You are, let's be honest. And you know what? I'm going to watch out for that. And I've put that in posts in LinkedIn. If you think that you're going to replace people with AI security, you've got another thing coming at this moment in time. And just don't wait for the technology to mature. When it does start to mature, work with security professionals to implement this in a safe, a meaningful way. Seriously, if you are looking to replace your workforce, make sure security is involved in the, deciding how this is going to work and what's going to happen. And if you're engaging third parties who are going to be supplying you with this kind of technology, then make sure you do your due diligence on them. Their security needs to be every bit, maybe even better than what you have within your own organization. Because if it goes the way I think it's going to go, we're going to have all kinds of AI companies popping up all over the place, like we did during the cloud revolution of technology, where everybody and their mother is going to be starting an AI agent company. Most of them are going to be rubbish. Most of them are going to be crap and fall over. And most of them are going to cause more problems than you want them to. So just be careful with it. Now, let's see where this goes. Maybe I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, please feel free to comment. Please feel free to tell me, and I'll be more than happy to debate the issue. If you want to come on and debate and debunk some of what I've said on one of the podcasts, reach out. More than happy to. I'd love to be proven wrong, but for the moment, I think I'm not that far off. So let's stop reacting badly to new information coming out and see what happens as things roll out. And to all those investors out there that might be watching this, PE companies, VC companies, look, we're still at the very early stage of this technology. Stop investing based on hype, okay? Do some due diligence. And God forbid, if you're looking to invest in the cybersecurity space, actually engage with an InfoSec professional, Richard Cassidy, myself, Marius Poskas. There's a whole plethora of different, really qualified information security professionals who can help you out with this and help you with your deliberations and tell you where we think the technology is going. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe everything that you read on the internet. Thank you very much. This is Razorwire Raw. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Click the notification buttons. If there's anything you want me to cover, then just let me know. I'll be more than happy to do that. And we'll be speaking to you again soon.